For 10 long years, no one had been allowed to touch Alpha King Kaelor. Not his royal healers, not his soldiers, not even the people who had once called him family. Before the curse, Kaelor had been the most powerful ruler in the Northern Star systems. In battle, his silver wolf form moved like lightning across the frozen moons. His roar could silence an army, and his gold and silver eyes carried the authority of an ancient bloodline. But Kaelor had never ruled through fear. He protected the weak, listened to his people, and believed in Alpha's true strength was measured by the lives he saved. Then came the Night of Black Stars. 10 years earlier, an unknown enemy attacked the royal moon. The sky burned, the palace walls collapsed, and a strange black energy entered Kaelor's body. The curse did not kill him. It kept him alive. Every day, it spread deeper through his heart, turning pain into rage and memories into nightmares. Whenever someone came close, the darkness awakened. Kaelor lost control and attacked anyone within reach. He injured healers, destroyed medical chambers, and nearly killed the royal physician who had raised him. After that night, Kaelor made one terrible decision. He disappeared into the forbidden royal forest. For 10 years, the great wolf lived alone beneath the shadow of ancient alien trees. His silver fur became marked with dark veins that glowed whenever the curse awakened. His body grew larger, but his heart became quieter. The kingdom still called him their alpha, but no one had seen the man beneath the monster in years. Then, during a violent storm, a human woman named Lena entered the forest. She was being hunted. Alien soldiers had discovered her rare ability. Lena could feel the hidden pain inside living beings. She could sense fear beneath anger, grief beneath silence, and wounds no machine could detect. They wanted to use her gift as a weapon. Lena refused. Now soldiers chased her through the storm. She ran between enormous trees as energy blasts tore through the darkness behind her. Her breath burned, her clothes were soaked, and every path seemed to lead deeper into the forbidden forest. Then she found an ancient cave. Lena stepped inside. 2 enormous silver eyes opened in the darkness. The great wolf was waiting. Kaelor emerged slowly. He was larger than any creature Lena had ever imagined. His claws scraped across the stone, and black marks moved beneath his silver fur like living shadows. The soldiers stopped at the cave entrance. "Get away from the beast," one of them shouted. But Lena did not move. She looked into Kaelor's eyes, and suddenly, her strange human gift awakened. Pain crashed through her. Not anger, not hatred, pain. 10 years of loneliness. 10 years of fear. 10 years of carrying a darkness that wanted to destroy everyone he loved. A tear slipped down Lena's face. "You're not trying to hurt anyone," she whispered. "You're trying not to hurt them." Kaelor growled. The cave shook. He raised one massive claw. The soldiers aimed their weapons. Everyone expected Lena to run. Instead, she stepped closer. Slowly, she placed her trembling hand against his silver fur. The entire forest became silent. The black marks across Kaelor's body suddenly glowed. Then the great wolf froze. For the first time in 10 years, he did not attack. Kaelor lowered his head beside Lena. But before she could speak, a dark voice whispered from deep inside the cave. "The human has not healed the curse." The shadows began to move. "She has awakened it." Kaelor suddenly collapsed at Lena's feet, and beneath his silver fur, something ancient opened its eyes. Kaelor's enormous body crashed against the cave floor. The ground shook beneath Lena's feet. Black energy burst from the alpha wolf's silver fur and spread across the walls like living smoke. The ancient cave filled with whispers, hundreds of broken voices speaking in a language Lena did not understand. Outside, the alien soldiers raised their weapons. "The creature is weak," their commander shouted. "Take the human now." But before they could enter, Kaelor opened his eyes. They were no longer silver. They were completely black. Lena stepped back as the great wolf rose again. His claws dug into the stone. His breathing became heavy, and the darkness around him moved like a storm. For one terrifying moment, Lena believed the curse had taken control. Then Kaelor looked at her. His gaze stopped on the hand she had placed against his fur. The black energy disappeared from that single spot. Kaelor stared at her, as if he had seen something impossible. "No one has touched me," his deep voice echoed inside Lena's mind. "Not for 10 years. Lena slowly lowered her hand. "You were in pain," she whispered. "I could feel it." The Alpha's eyes narrowed. "Pain makes people run." "Maybe," Lena replied. "But sometimes pain only means someone has been alone for too long." Her words struck him harder than any weapon. For 10 years, Kaelor had heard people call him a monster. No one had ever asked why he had become one. Before he could answer, the soldiers fired. Blue energy exploded at the entrance. Kaelor moved instantly. He placed his enormous body between Lena and the attack. The blast struck his shoulder, and a dark wound opened beneath his silver fur. Lena rushed toward him. "Don't!" Kaelor's roar shook the cave. The force threw the soldiers backward. But when Lena reached for his wound, Kaelor suddenly grabbed her wrist with one massive paw. His claws stopped only inches from her skin. The curse was waking again. "Stay away," he growled. Lena looked into his eyes. She could feel the darkness trying to turn his fear into rage. "You're afraid," she said softly. "I'm not afraid." "Yes, you are." Kaelor's grip tightened. Lena did not pull away. "You're afraid that if you let someone get close, you'll hurt them." The Alpha froze. For a moment, the monster disappeared. Behind his eyes, Lena saw a lonely man carrying 10 years of guilt. Then Kaelor released her. Slowly, he transformed. Silver light covered his body. The enormous wolf disappeared, and a tall man fell to his knees before her. Kaelor's dark hair was wet from the storm. Black marks covered his chest and arms, glowing like cracks beneath his skin. Lena removed her cloak and wrapped it around his shoulders. Kaelor looked up. "You should fear me," he said. Lena gently touched the dark mark near his heart. "I think you've been afraid enough for both of us." The mark faded beneath her fingers. Kaelor stopped breathing. For one brief moment, the pain inside him disappeared. He reached toward Lena's face, but his hand trembled before touching her. "Why?" he asked. "Why what? Why does it become quiet when you are near me?" Lena had no answer, but she could feel something inside the Alpha changing. The darkness was no longer fighting her. It was watching her. Suddenly, the cave walls opened. An ancient symbol appeared above them, the same symbol carved into Kaelor's chest. A hidden voice spoke. "The human heart has opened the first seal." Kaelor stood quickly and pulled Lena behind him. "What seal?" she asked. His face became pale. "The curse was never meant to kill me," Kaelor whispered. The symbol burned brighter. "It was waiting for someone like you." Then the cave began to collapse. Kaelor grabbed Lena and carried her into the storm. But as they escaped, Lena saw something beneath the broken stone. An ancient crystal chamber. Inside it was a human woman who looked exactly like her, and her eyes were open. Cliffhanger. Lena stared at the woman trapped inside the crystal. Then the woman slowly lifted one hand and pressed it against the glass. A voice entered Lena's mind. "Run from the Alpha before he remembers what he did to me." Kaelor carried Lena through the storm until the ancient cave disappeared behind them. Rain struck his silver fur as he moved between the enormous trees. His powerful legs crossed the forest faster than any human could run, but Lena barely noticed the speed. She could not forget the woman inside the crystal. The woman had her face, her eyes, even the small silver mark beside her left eyebrow. And her warning still echoed inside Lena's mind. "Run from the Alpha before he remembers what he did to me." When Kaelor finally stopped beneath the ruins of an old royal temple, Lena climbed down from his back. The Alpha transformed into his human form. Silver light disappeared from his body, leaving Kaelor standing before her. His dark hair was wet from the rain, and the black marks across his chest glowed beneath his skin. Lena stepped away. Kaelor noticed. "You're afraid of me now." "I don't know what I am," she replied. The words hurt him more than she expected. For a moment, Kaelor looked like the lonely man she had seen inside the monster. Then Lena pointed toward the distant cave. There was a woman trapped beneath the stone. She looked exactly like me. Kaelor became still, and she said I should run from you. The storm thundered above them. Kaelor turned away. What did she mean? Lena asked. You should not have touched the crystal. That isn't an answer. It is the only one I can give. Lena's anger rose. You brought me into this forest. Your curse reacted to me. A woman who looks exactly like me is trapped inside an ancient chamber. And now you expect me to trust you? Kaelor looked at her. I never asked you to trust me. No, Lena said. You only saved my life twice. The Alpha's expression softened. He stepped closer. You don't understand what happens when people become important to me. Then tell me. Kaelor's eyes darkened. Everyone I loved died. Silence filled the ruined temple. For the first time, Lena saw the grief beneath his coldness. 10 years earlier, during the Night of Black Stars, Kaelor had entered the ancient chamber beneath the royal forest. He remembered a human woman standing beside the crystal. But the rest was missing. The curse had taken pieces of his memory. I remember blood, Kaelor whispered. I remember her screaming. Then everything went dark. Lena stared at him. You think you hurt her? I don't know. And you never try to find out? I spent 10 years believing I was the reason she disappeared. His voice broke. Lena's anger slowly faded. She understood something painful. Kaelor was not hiding the truth because he wanted to deceive her. He was hiding from a memory he feared was real. The black marks suddenly moved across his chest. Kaelor fell to one knee. Lena rushed toward him. Stay back, he warned. But she ignored him. She placed both hands over the dark mark near his heart. The pain entered her. Cold, violent, endless. Lena gasped, but she did not pull away. Kaelor grabbed her shoulders. You'll get hurt. Then stop carrying it alone. The darkness began to fade. Kaelor looked in her eyes. Their faces were only inches apart. For one quiet moment, the storm disappeared. Kaelor slowly touched her cheek. His fingers trembled. I should not want you near me, he whispered. But you do. Yes. Lena's heart raced. And that frightens me more than the curse. Before she could answer, a silver light appeared above the temple. The woman inside the crystal appeared as a ghostly image. Her eyes were filled with tears. Lena, she said. Kaelor stepped in front of Lena. Who are you? The woman looked at him. You truly don't remember. Tell me. The ghost turned toward Lena. I am not your reflection. Her image began to break apart. I am the first human who touched the Alpha's heart. Lena froze. The woman looked at Kaelor one final time. And he was the one who sealed me inside the crystal. The temple shook. Kaelor's memories suddenly returned. He saw himself standing inside the ancient chamber. He saw the woman reaching for him. And he saw his own hands covered in black energy. Kaelor fell backward. No, he whispered. Then the ghost spoke one final warning. The Alpha did not curse me. Her eyes turned toward the darkness behind Kaelor. He was controlled. A deep growl echoed through the ruined temple. Something enormous moved between the trees. Kaelor pulled Lena behind him. Then a pair of glowing red eyes opened in the darkness. The creature stepped forward. It wore Kaelor's face, but its smile was not human. Cliffhanger. The creature looked directly at Lena. Then it whispered, You were never meant to heal the Alpha. Its red eyes burned brighter. You were meant to replace him. The creature stepped out from between the ancient trees. It had Kaelor's face, the same sharp features, the same dark hair, the same powerful body, but its eyes burned red, and black shadows moved beneath its skin. Lena could feel its presence before it spoke. It was not alive. It was the curse. Kaelor moved in front of her, his body shielding hers. Stay behind me, he ordered. The creature smiled. You still believe you can protect her? Kaelor's hands changed into silver claws. What do you want? The creature's red eyes turned toward Lena. What I have waited 10 years to claim. The ruined temple began to shake. Ancient symbols appeared across the floor, forming a circle around Lena. She stepped back, but the symbols followed her. Kaelor reached for her. The moment his hand touched hers, black energy exploded between them. Kaelor was thrown against a broken stone wall. Kaelor! Lena ran toward him, but the creature appeared in front of her. It leaned close. You have spent your entire life believing your gift was meant to heal pain, it whispered. But your bloodline was created for something far greater. Lena's heart raced. What are you talking about? The creature pointed toward the ancient cave. The woman inside the crystal was the first human of your bloodline. Her people carried a rare energy, the power to enter a wolf's heart and awaken the ancient alpha force. Lena remembered the woman's words. I am the first human who touched the alpha's heart. She was not trapped because Kaelor hated her. The creature continued. She was sealed away because she discovered the truth. What truth? The creature smiled. Human hearts can carry the power of an alpha. Lena stared at it. The curse had never needed Kaelor to die. It needed him to become weak. For 10 years, the darkness had fed on his pain, waiting for another human from the ancient bloodline to appear. Someone who could touch the alpha. Someone who could enter his heart. Someone who could take his power. You were never chosen to heal him, the creature said. You were chosen to replace him. The temple floor opened beneath Lena. A beam of black light surrounded her. Suddenly, memories filled her mind. She saw ancient humans standing beside wolves beneath distant stars. She saw the first Alpha King sharing his power with a human woman. Together, they created peace between two worlds. But later, a shadow entered the royal bloodline. It turned the shared power into a weapon. The curse was created to separate the Alpha from the human heart. Then, when the Alpha became weak, the human would take his place. Lena fell to her knees. No, she whispered. The creature reached toward her. Accept your purpose. Take Kaelor's power, and you will become stronger than any Alpha. Kaelor stood. Blood ran down his face. Don't listen to it. The creature laughed. You cannot stop her. Her blood is already awakening. Black marks appeared across Lena's hands. She could feel Kaelor's strength entering her. His memories, his pain, his love. And then she saw something terrible. The woman inside the crystal was still alive. But the chamber could only be opened by destroying the curse. To destroy the curse, Kaelor's heart would have to stop. Lena looked at him. Kaelor understood. You know the choice, he said quietly. Lena shook her head. There has to be another way. There isn't. If I free her, you die. And if you save me, she remains trapped forever. Lena felt tears fill her eyes. Kaelor walked toward her. The darkness tried to stop him, but he pushed through it. He placed his hand against her cheek. I have lived 10 years believing I was a monster, he whispered. Then you touched me, and for the first time, I remembered what it felt like to hope. Lena held his hand. I don't want to lose you. Kaelor rested his forehead against hers. Then don't choose because you're afraid. Their eyes closed. For one brief moment, the curse disappeared. Then Kaelor kissed her. It was gentle, not a promise that everything would be safe. A promise that neither of them would face the darkness alone. Suddenly, the creature roared. The black energy inside Kaelor exploded. Kaelor fell to the ground. The curse began pulling his life away. Lena screamed and placed both hands over his heart. The ancient symbols returned. 2 paths appeared before her. One glowed silver. The other glowed white. The silver path led to Kaelor. The white path led to the woman inside the crystal. The creature smiled. Choose. Lena looked at Kaelor. Then she looked toward the ancient cave. But instead of touching either path, Lena stepped between them. No, she said. The creature's smile disappeared. I refuse to choose who deserves to live. The symbols began to break. Lena's human energy spread through the temple. She reached for Kaelor with one hand. Then she reached toward the crystal with the other. The creature screamed. You cannot save them both. Lena's eyes began to glow. Maybe an alpha believes strength means choosing one life over another. She looked at Kaelor. But humans learned long ago that strength means finding another way. The entire temple erupted with light. The crystal chamber opened. And somewhere beneath the forest, the woman inside began to wake. Cliffhanger. But as the crystal cracked, a voice entered Lena's mind. You have opened the final seal. The ground split apart. A giant black heart rose from beneath the temple. It began to beat. Once, twice. Then 1,000 red eyes opened inside the darkness. And Kaelor whispered, Lena, that is not the curse. The giant black heart rose from beneath the ruined temple. With every beat, the ground trembled. Once, twice, then again. Thousands of red eyes opened across its surface, staring down at Lena and Kaelor. The darkness was not a curse. The curse had only been a chain. This was the ancient force that had created it. Kaelor stood beside Lena, but his strength was fading. Black energy moved through his body, pulling him toward the enormous heart. "The heart is calling me," he whispered. Lena held his hand. "Then we'll answer it together." The creature wearing Kaelor's face laughed. "You still don't understand. The Alpha was never meant to rule forever. His blood was created to feed the heart. The ancient force had waited for centuries. Every Alpha had carried a small piece of its darkness. When an Alpha became powerful enough, the heart tried to consume him. But the first human woman had discovered a way to stop it. She had shared her human energy with the Alpha, not to replace him, to remind him that power was never meant to belong to one person. The crystal finally shattered. A woman stepped from the light. She looked like Lena, but her eyes carried the sadness of someone who had waited for centuries. Kaelor stared at her. "Who are you?" "My name is Alara," she said. The woman looked at Lena. "I am your ancestor." Lena's heart stopped. Alara explained that the human bloodline was never created to steal the Alpha's power. It was created to balance it. Humans carried something the ancient wolves did not understand: the strength to share pain without becoming controlled by it. That was why Lena could touch Kaelor. She did not remove his suffering. She made him feel that he was no longer carrying it alone. But the heart had changed the truth. It had turned humans and wolves against each other because fear made both sides easier to control. Then the black heart roared. Dark vines burst from the ground and wrapped around Kaelor. He fell to his knees. "Lena," he shouted. The heart pulled him closer. Lena ran toward him, but the creature blocked her path. "You cannot save him," it said. "The Alpha belongs to the darkness." Lena looked at Kaelor. For 10 years, he had believed pain made him dangerous. For 10 years, he had pushed everyone away because he was afraid of hurting them. But Lena knew the truth. The darkness had never made Kaelor a monster. It had only convinced him that he was alone. She stepped toward the creature. "You're wrong." The creature attacked. Lena raised her hand. Instead of fighting the darkness, she opened her heart to it. She felt every Alpha who had suffered before Kaelor. Every fear, every loss, every lonely ruler who believed strength meant carrying pain alone. Tears filled Lena's eyes. "You were never born evil," she whispered to the heart. "You were born from pain." The heart stopped beating. For 1 second, every red eye closed. Kaelor looked at Lena. "Now!" He transformed into the great wolf. Silver light exploded across the temple. Kaelor tore through the dark vines and stood beside Lena. The Alpha did not attack the heart. He placed one enormous silver paw against it. Lena placed both hands beside his. Human light and wolf energy joined. The temple filled with memories. Not memories of war. Memories of kindness. Humans alping bunda bulbas. Wolves protecting human children. 2 species standing together beneath the stars. The heart began to crack. The darkness screamed. But Lena did not let go. Neither did Kaelor. Then the black heart shattered into thousands of silver lights. The ancient force disappeared. The curse was gone. Kaelor collapsed. Lena rushed toward him. For one terrible moment, he did not move. Then his eyes opened. They were silver again. No darkness. No pain. Kaelor smiled. "You stayed." Lena laughed through her tears. "You're very difficult to leave." Kaelor touched her face. "For 10 years, I believed my heart was dead." He pulled her close. "Then you touched me and reminded it how to beat." He kissed her beneath the falling silver light. Months later, the royal forest was open to humans. The wolves welcomed them into their cities. Healers from both worlds worked together. And Kaelor changed the laws of the Alpha Kingdom. No ruler would ever carry pain alone again. Lena stood beside him, not as a replacement Alpha, but as his equal. The great wolf had rejected every healer for 10 years. But the hunted human woman had never tried to control him. She listened. She stayed. And when the darkness demanded that one of them be sacrificed, she chose neither. Because human strength was never about taking power. It was about sharing hope. And beneath the stars, Kaelor placed his hand over Lena's heart. Then Lena placed hers over his. Two hearts, two worlds, one future.